Welcome to my daily report. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which was down once again today. Getting a little tired of this, aren't we? It was down 118 points or half a percent, closed at 25,358. I've got this industry group up here because if you follow me at all, you know how I follow these themes, the groups that are performing well. I like top stocks and top groups, and you can see that memory group is up nearly 300% this year. So if you just kind of traffic in those stocks, the fiber optics, the semiconductors, the electrical contracting manufacturing, the photonics, blah, 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 those stocks are the ones that are doing well. But during this correction here, we had a 31% move in April and May, and now in June we had a 9% correction here before a little rally up, but still down 6%, more than 6% for the month. And a lot of stocks are getting hit, but these stocks, especially the memory stocks, are holding up. You're going to get a reshuffling of the deck in the leadership group when you have a correction like this. So I'm going to go through that a little bit today, just pointing out that if you own the right stocks, and the index really doesn't matter, but it's nice to have the tailwind from the index. I just got to go to the month here. We're getting towards the end of June. I think you're heading into the end of this month, second quarter, and there's a rebalancing of the index, and there's also compliance. These fund managers have to meet with these groups they're managing their money for, and they've got to be in compliance, so they can't be too heavy in one group or another. And so there's just a lot of moving parts here at the end of June, and plus profit taking. There you go. We're down 1,600 points or 6% in June after a nice 15% rally in April and a little more than 8% rally in May. So it stands to reason after, a run like that there's going to be some profit taking. And at the end of the quarter, you're going to have this, rebalance of the indexes. This week has been a horrific week, down 4%. So it's not a situation on Friday where you're going to have profit taking. No profits to take this week. Probably a little short covering tomorrow. I would expect a little bit of a bounce, but yeah, this is going to be over soon, folks. I have a feeling. How about that? But today, more selling. Gosh, the index is now 1.5% below the 50, and you can see those short-term moving averages curling lower, which you hate to see. 3.3% below the 21. This says volume 30%. I don't know what it's looking at, but it looks like lower volume than the last few sessions and lower volume than the 50 days. So whatever. I mean, I'm just going to go through some strong stocks here. I like to accentuate the positive. There's plenty of negative if you want to find it. If you want to look for it, there's plenty of negative. I could just call a family member if I want to hear some negative stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to do that or get personal. I'm just going to go through some winning stocks. And gosh darn it, you know what? I lied. I'm going to go to SPY first because SPY closed right here at its 50-day, just a tick above, but essentially at the 50-day, once again, this is down 3% for the month as well. So tough sledding, and when you have stocks like Apple doing what it did today, this is going to drag, your indexes. It's in the Dow, the S&P, the Nasdaq, big company. Yeah, big drag here, down 6% today. So, and there's a lot of these Mag 7 stocks are weak, and they're in the indexes, and they're kind of a drag here. This is Amazon down 3%. I think even the mighty Nvidia, even following Micron's earnings, this thing was down. I don't know. They're just selling these stocks. So anyway, I said I'm going to accentuate the positive. I'm going straight to it. Micron, if you read through that report, gosh, somebody posted me a video of a gentleman who's being interviewed to say the top is in, it's not NVIDIA. He didn't own it. He missed the run, so he's trying to justify it by knocking the stock there's nothing to knock here. They had a beautiful quarter, and they guided, to 50 billion in sales next quarter. So this thing is accelerating. They've signed, long-term contracts, a bunch of them. I'm not saying this. How shall I put this? Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer going higher to 1500, but there's going to be bumps along the way. It's not just going to be a straight ride. So, yeah, nice 15% move following earnings today with, real strong volume here. On the session, it had, yeah, 81 million, where I think normally it's about 35, right? Or 50, no, 50, 60, 50. Yeah, 46, 45. So, yeah, around 50, I think. So, very strong, 62% above the 50-day average volume, which is this red line here. So congrats to the longs, which is me. But going into this report, this thing could have sold off too. It had this island reversal and a gap to fill there at the low of 1168. So, trip down to the 21. I had to reduce because even if you, oh gosh, I guess I'll go through this. It's worst day in the past year was a 13% down day, and it had a couple, close to that. And then on the June 23rd, which was what, Tuesday, it had another 13% down day. So you're thinking 13%, the worst down day in the last year, plus a 5%, call it a 6% stop loss. I had to have a 20% cushion going into this thing. And so I reduced going in, but as soon as I saw that print, I bought it back and a little bit more. I like to have a little bit more just for punishing myself for being an idiot. But I'm just trying to practice risk management. If you look at it now, you could just say, oh, well, it made this high on Monday, pulled back, indecision into the print, found support at the 21, and then bounced 15% after reporting ridiculous numbers. But anyway, congrats to the longs that hold Micron. I think it's going higher. And I've been saying that for a while, and at one point it's not going to go higher. But when these things top out, you'll know it. And this is not it. It filled this gap here and actually went above the high from Monday, which is 1,213, and it closed right there at the high from Monday. Anyway, SanDisk, I think, is the one to watch now. This one was up 22%, while Micron was up, what did I say, 15, 16%? Yeah, $420. That's a nice day. Once again, had this island reversal, right? Gapped up on Monday, had a big day on Thursday, gapped up on Monday, closed near the lows um, of the session. The last was 2,273, and the high was 2354. So that was the number we were looking for today. The first one is the gap fill at 2251, and then the high of 2354, which it didn't quite get there, but it had its highest closing day. So it had this big day on Monday, closed near the lows, and reversed lower, had this island reversal, which is pretty ominous. This one didn't even come down to the 21 and now popped 22% today. I think this one's going higher. If you looked at the Micron report, their HBM, I don't want to get too technical, just the SanDisk component, the NAND component is very strong. And I think, the Wall Street now investors know that they're going to blow the roof off the mother when they report. I think it's late July. I don't think they've announced yet, but it'll be late in July. Like the last week in July. They reported the last week in April. So, yeah, I think the the tell is in from the Micron report. SanDisk is going to have blowout earnings report at the end of July. All right. That's it for those two. And you know what? I could stop right there because I don't even know why you'd want to own any other stock than these two, but people do. And they want to, own stuff in the Mag 7 like Apple, which is getting clobbered, and Amazon and Meta. But anyway, do what you got to do. Like I said, I like to pick the winning stocks from the winning groups, and there's nothing in the market that's winning more than the memory names. WDC, I would steer clear of this one. It was up 5% today. It just had that, I showed you the weekly, the Abby normal week, Young Frankenstein. Yeah, where it gapped up 32%, where it hadn't been anywhere near that So this is a little too gappy. This week down 9%. There's your tell, huh? While we look at SanDisk and Micron, yeah, up 7%. Micron up 7%, and WDC going the other way. I'm not saying it's a top. I would just say it's an avoid for me. And if I want to own memory, I'm going to Micron and SanDisk. STX, these are more storage and plays. Anyway, yeah, I didn't want to get technical. Only price pays. This one pulled back to its 10-day line, just not as strong as our Micron, which and SanDisk, which are up 7%. This one's down 4%. Gosh, I don't want to be too picky here on, yeah, 15%. Yeah. Um, it's very gappy. I don't know. I would just avoid. If I want to own memory, I'm going to own Micron and SanDisk. That's all I can tell you. They're the leaders of the group. A lot of people like Penguin. It's smaller. It's got a lot of irons in the fire. It looks like it's just making or forming a base here since June 2nd high. Yeah, it had this candle, this weird candle, but still consolidating in the base. SIMO, Silicon Motion, another one in this group. Very strong name. Just, finding support at the 5 now. So, yeah, Silicon Motion's very strong since the gap out on April 29th, gap up from its base. BLZE. This is one that was blazing today. Yeah, gapped up here on this date, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Drinko. This one just went sideways for a long, 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 long time until June 23. Yeah, which was what, Tuesday? Why didn't I buy this one at 43%? Then it goes up 2%, now 12%. This one's talking to me. Yeah, ended up another 12% today. Geez, Louise. I know it's this micro mini of a flea of a company, but that chart looks good to me. And I like higher prices. But anyway, I missed it, so I can't cry. I got SanDisk and Micron. All right, another group, a leading group, leading stocks and leading groups. Always going to be my theme. AMD, of course, Lisa Su, the queen. This one's just consolidating, much like Intel, but a little later. June 3rd, Intel started correcting way back when, May 11th. So this one's getting, yeah, I was hoping that it would pull back today, but Micron earnings and the fact that Nancy Pelosi's buying. So maybe we'll get a couple more days of sideways in this handle. And then I'm going to strike like a cobra and buy Intel like I need more chip stocks, right? But anyway, Intel very strong, pretty much a government entity at this point. Marvell, I thought it was going to do a little better today, just pulling back. And this is what happens, when they start forming bases here from June 3rd. It's only been about 3 weeks, so give it some time. Pull back to the 21. Yeah, it just needs time. Nothing wrong with that one. TER has been basing, and now look at it. Psh, dang, I missed it. 10% move, 422 was a triggered, had this fake breakout, and a lot of stocks have been doing this. They fake the breakout, then they pull back to the moving average, and then bam, hit you with 11% move. Let's take a look at this on the weekly. That 422, yeah, it's a nice consolidation area. Stage 2 base for 7 weeks. And look at this earnings line heading due north as the stock heads due north. Not an accident, folks. All right. Another, Applied Materials and ASML, just, yeah, leaders of the equipment group. Pull back to its 5. Well, it undercut the 5, but bounced today nicely. Got 13% move for a company that big. That's nice. ASML, pull back 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, found support at 21, bounce nearly 5% today. This is the second leading group behind the memory group. So these equipment stocks are, yeah, very strong. Yeah, I don't own any of them, but I don't know what's wrong with me. As I get older, I just feel confident in two stocks, and I don't want to branch out into any other names. That's my flaw. This is just me. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else, but I'm just that way now. I don't know what it is with me. But as long as you want to go where your money is treated the best. So Micron and SanDisk are treating my money well. ASML is treating your money well too, as is Applied Materials. So I'm not bagging on any other stock just because I only hold two stocks. ARM Holdings, not so much today, huh? Looks like it's consolidating in a base from that 428 there on June 2nd. So it's got a lot of work to do, a lot of time. I just avoid that one for now. It needs to um, it needs to consolidate those massive gains from 111 to 427. That's a nice, nearly a four bagger in a short period of time. So other groups, or excuse me, other stocks that I'm looking at in this group, Onto Innovation, another semiconductor equipment stock. Once again, we had this fake breakout, right? We had this one on the red list where it ran up to 348, then pulled back here on Tuesday to 308, now closed today at 344. It says John 316 was the trigger. Well above it now. Hopefully this is not a fake breakout, but the tape is pretty tough. I'm gonna not gonna lie here. Uh, it's not easy. This is not easy. Um, it was easy in April and May, and now it's become tough. And you want to make your money in April and May, and you want to not lose money in June when the index pulls back. This is KLIC up a 6% today, 666. It's having a devil of a time. No, it's just surfing to five. This is a breakout way back here and respecting its moving averages. So if you own that one, that's a pretty easy hold as it just mines the 21 here. Sometimes it gets a little bit above the five, then pulls back. But yeah, very strong name. All right, I'm going to go to a group that I talked about the reshuffling of the deck. I'm not giving up on these, but I don't want to own them. I'm just going to watch them, and I'd say it's a coin flip that these things fall out or make new highs. This is showing me no confidence that it's below the 50 here. Ran up to the 50 today and got rejected. Yeah, 2%. I don't know what to say about these. Sienna looking better. I think it's made that bottom, needs a rally back through here. This is the largest market cap in this group. AAOI looks like uh, it's okay for a stock to form a base, undercut the 50, totally normal. This one is a wild one, 13.5% 21-day average true range, but guys, it's just I don't know. It made this high on May 13th, and it's been consolidating. And probably a double bottom base here as it tries to find a bottom here at 134. Yesterday was 137. Hopefully it finds a bottom, starts rallying back through. Yeah, I would like to see this group improve. This was the number two group. Now it's a ranking 16, not performance. Performance wise, I still think it's in the top five, but these guys are struggling. Somebody asked me about VIAV today. Probably the best stock, the best home in a bad neighborhood, made this high at 60. I would like to see it get back to that level. It just has no juice. We're seeing heavy selling here as it forms it, this double bottom base pattern here. Pattern Rec's not picking it up, but this has been about what, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Yeah, just consolidation. So it's got to move. I don't like stocks that are squatting on their 50. It's got to move. It's got to bounce. It's got to show some juice, have momentum higher. That's my style. So I'd stay away from that one until it proves it. You got to be from Missouri and tell these things to show me, like MEI has been doing. Man, this is a nice breakout today of 37%. That's the kind of stuff I like, not the other stuff that I just showed you. All right, the Photonics Group, Coherent, it's an NVIDIA partner. It's been consolidating gains since I would say this 413, May 13th. Yeah, it made a high above it, but this is just a consolidation box here. And if you're a Darvis type trader, man, above 440, it's go time. But it needs to do it, right? And if it's not there yet, then you just got to wait, be patient. As Tom Petty said, the waiting is the hardest part. You don't have to wait for Corning. This is a strong one in the group. Yeah, another leader here. 211.79 on May 13th. So it's been about 6 weeks of consolidation. Double bottom base pattern. I don't know why pattern rec's not picking this up. Maybe in the weekly it is. Yeah, this is a nice 6 week base here. Earnings line heading due north, stock heading due north, new high today. It's up 17% this week, while the Nasdaq is, what did I say, down 4.5, something. The Nasdaq's floundering. So this is definitely showing a strength, breaking out of a double bottom base. I like that one a lot. Vichyssoise doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, just basing, forming a base. This is good. You know, the selling in June is going to make a lot of these stocks set up in bases, which could set up for a nice rally in July. I would not discount that at all. All right, just a couple other names I'm going to mention. I didn't know where to put them. SNX reported earnings today. Pretty strong stock here, just consolidating gains. Dave, they did not report earnings today. But a strong stock just pulled back a little bit today. And if we go to the weekly on Dave, Dave looks pretty darn good. Yeah, this nice consolidation pattern had this breakout, fake breakout. Now the last 3 weeks it's been rallying pretty decently. And the last one was WYY. YY? I don't know. YY. This one broke out of a base and it's just surfing its moving average like Kelly Slater, man. Up 15% today. Was not to like. Wide Point Computer Tech Services. I have no idea what they do except for make their shareholders wealthy. All right. Now, if you listen to these recent, Qualcomm and the recent Broadcom and Micron, you would think the data centers would be kicking ass, and Caterpillar is. Since breaking out of this base, had this fake breakout here, pulled back to the moving average, ran up to 931. Oh, it's back to the 20. This is, choppy action, but now it's breaking out of that 931 area, which was what this day, the 15th, so it was a week ago. Monday? Yeah, Caterpillar's on a roll. So congrats to the longs there. And that's what you would expect from these data center plays. Dell got downgraded today, handled it okay. Pulled back to the 21, found support and bounce. It needs the base. It's made a hell of a run from, I forget what it was, what 111 or something, up to 469. Now, pulls back a little bit. This is just forming a base. 469 would be the trigger for you box traders. I do not own Dell, no position. NVT is one that I like. You can see this pretty easily, just consolidating gains, digesting a move from 102 to 175. And then Vert, this is one that's bugging me. I got to admit, I really expected a big move today. And that's what you get for having high expectations. They lead to big disappointments. It's still at a 3% move, but just not near a trigger, just consolidating in a double bottom base pattern. And it needs more time to build out the right side of that base. If we take a look at the weekly on Vertiv, yeah, you could see 3 weeks of selling. You hit a bottom at the, what is that, the 10 week line, which is what, 50 days. Then starts building the right side of the base, down 2% this week. It's June. The indexes are wallowing like fishes out of water. And so this is what I'm talking about. A lot of these stocks are setting up in bases. You give them, another week or two, and maybe in July we can have a sustained rally in these data center plays. Data center is very important. GTES Gates. I don't talk about this one enough. Kind of like this one. It's got this cup with handle pattern, then whoop, undercut the 200. There's your okey doke. And then ever since, it's just rallied from 22 to 29. And the smaller, 6 billion market cap, making new highs today. I got to drink my Dutch Brewers tea. Hubble, another one. I like the chart here. This is what I'm talking about. This, recent bout of selling is allowing these stocks to consolidate gains, set up in bases. This one started April 23. So it's been a couple of months here. Watching you, Hubble. And then Jerome Powell's company. Yeah, just consolidating. This is great. These are all setting up in bases for moves higher. So don't take your eyes off of these because one day they're going to be making new highs and you say, why didn't I buy that? Well, because you took your eye off the ball. I do that often. ALNT, this is another one in that group making new highs today. It broke out a while ago and then pulled back. These another fake breakout. We're seeing a lot of these fake breakouts and then boom, this shakes all the weekends out. I know that's kind of a game that's played, but you just saw it this week with Micron, how they shook everyone out and then rip it up, what, 15%. All right, a couple more here in the group. Yeah, the index is trading like but this one's making new high, doesn't need the index. And then CDNL Cardinal, this was brought to my attention from someone in the group at mcstockcharts.com in the chat. Really, some really good sharp traders in there. They bring a lot of stocks to my attention that I'm not looking at. So more eyeballs, the better. And there's a lot of eyeballs in there. This one was up 12% today. That's not bad. They had a secondary offering. Is it here? I think it might have been here, the secondary. Anyway, that's in the rear view mirror. The dilution. So anyway, yeah, I think 100 is definitely in the cards for that one. And I think I'm through with that data center group, but I want to go to the build out, the construction members. And once again, these guys are just consolidating gains. Sterling went what from 380 or whatever, 330 up to 1,000. But it's still just trading in this box here, digesting gains. It needs some more time. Quanta services, no crashes. Um, The Rain Man stock just consolidating, undercut the 50 rally back up, but it's just building the right side of the base. I would call this a double bottom once again. Here is it makes a low, rallies up, makes another low at 642, now builds the right side of the base. So give it a week or two here, folks. These things look very good to me. AGX is another one just consolidating in a base. Another double bottom. I know it made a high above 748, but 615, rally up, 576, now build the right side of the base. Argan, it looks good to me, and I'm not going to go through all of them. This is turning into a long video for such a crappy tape. It shows you there's a lot of stuff doing well, even though the Mag 7 are dragging the indexes down. All right, my next group is the HVAC. Comfort Systems, this one 2000, I would say that would be a buy. Above 2000, I like it. Below 2000, I don't. You can see it's just consolidating in a base once again. Give these some time here. These are all looking really good. May 14th. So it's only been about 5, maybe 6 weeks. TT is another one in this group consolidating. This chart looks good, up 4% today. And the other one is Matthew Modine. And this one, another one consolidating in a base. So just give them some time here, folks. There's a lot of stock setting up here. I think we could have a good July here, another rally. All right. What else do I have? Oh, I just threw a couple of stocks in here, random walk. United Reynolds, it's it's not in that group, but gosh darn, making new highs. That thing looks fantastic. Who also have, I just wrote these down because they're making new highs. I have no group for them. This is breakout here. Probably, run up a little bit, get a bunch of retail folks to chase, and then shake them out. We see these fake breakouts, and all the weak hands will be dusted, and then it'll start ripping to new highs. That's Terex Corp. And MTRN, I have no idea what they do except for make their shareholders wealthy. There's your double bottom base pattern. There's your breakout. Oh, there's a shakeout of all the weak hands. Anyway, after you sell, loser. And then they start ripping higher and you don't buy it back. That's why you have to be flexible enough to buy a stock back if you get shaken out. Hey, it happens to me all the time. You get shaken out, just buy it back. Be flexible. Be like water, like Bruce Lee says. All right. Where am I? Oh, let's go to space. My goodness, these things are horrid. SpaceX. This IPO kind of ruined the whole group. A lot of horsepower, for $2 trillion stock and it's just sucking the life out of Rocket Lab, which is just forming a base. Gosh, a trip to the 200, man. And then ASTS, oof, yeah, forming a base, I guess. Below the 200, hello, where are you going? You got to rally back through that black line. And then Lunar, I think this one is. Yeah, same fate down to the 200. So, went from 46 to 18. So, yeah, well, that's what you sign up for. Anyway, they don't have any earnings, so I'm not going to knock any stocks. I'm not going to be negative. I'm just going to the energy names. Kind of baffled me. I thought these ones would be up today, but no dice. Bloom is just consolidating in a base like it did here, and like it did here, the double bottom. So give it some time. I know it's so tempting. This stock, it'll run up on you. Look at it, like it did today. What was it, 351, then closes down. Oh, oh, help me, Mr. Wizard. That is tough beans, man. So here, if you're a retail guy and you chase the open, which I always tell you don't, just observe. They always give you a chance to get in. Man, this thing was at 351, area 51, man. This thing's lost. Gosh, that's why I just bought it. I can't trade that. That's an insane move. 351 closes at 309. Sorry about that, folks. I own this one in my retirement account, so I don't look at it because it drives me crazy. GE Vernova, just forming a base once again here. This looks good. April 23rd. So you're looking at 2 months of consolidating. This one's going to be on my ready list next week. We have two sessions, Monday and Tuesday of June, and then we hit July, and I think we're going to hit the ground running. Just based on all these setups that I'm seeing, yeah, these things aren't going to all crap out. Generac, another stock, broke out, now consolidating its gains, and then the other one was a fuel cell. Yeah, another one, fuel cell. Oh boy, this is a wild one. 16%, 21 day HR. Know what you're signing up for with that one. Ooh. All right. The next group, I kind of should have put this one at the top. This is one of the top groups. The Electrical Contracting Manufacturing Group. This is TTMI. Had trouble with 100 back in January, February, March, and rallied up to 200. And I thought 200 would be resistance, but it's turning out to be support. It's coming down there like every other day here on, what was it, Tuesday? Low is 200 again. Wednesday, which was yesterday, the low is 202. Today, 203. So higher lows, surfing the 10. If we get any cooperation from the index, when did this thing start? May 26th. So it's been about 5 weeks here. So I would say, could be on my ready list next week. If it pulls back there to 200 once again, it's go time. We will strike like cobras, or maybe a diamondback rattlesnake. Those things are nasty. All right, Sanmina, saw and walking my dog the other day. I said, stay away. Stay far away from those things. They'll ruin your day. Sanmina, this is a diamond type of box here where it goes up and down. Whoop. So it's got this diamond shaped pattern. So it's going to have to break above 288. Call it 280. Call it 290. These earnings dates aren't accurate at all. They're not confirmed. They haven't announced that. I think they're going to report the end of July. All right. And then the other one is Flex, man. Flex was flexing today, just went into the S&P. Talk about the rebalance. These guys are in like Flynn, finally broke out today. Could be some index buying for sure, up 7% with a strong volume. Still, to me, hasn't broken out. Once again, this is like the diamond type of consolidation where it runs up and then runs down. So you got this diamond type of pattern. So it's got to get above 167 for me to say that's a trigger point for the flex. All right, that's it. No, I lied. BHE, BA Benchmark Electronics, Electrical Contracting Manufacturing. Yeah, making new highs today. So 3 billion market cap, not bad. Just pointing out some strength here. It's got some decent numbers here. So anyway, that's it for me, except I lied. One more thing. I've got this group continues to show strength. I'm not really interested in it. It's intriguing to me. I'm just acknowledging strength. The medical managed care is the group is ranked 12th. I don't think it's giving you that type of performance. This is Garden, and this is a medical services. Yeah, breaking out to new highs. What else is in this group? HNGE. This is an old IPO that I was looking at. It wasn't that long ago. Intriguing little IPO base. This could be your, institutional due diligence phase in here, and now it's hitting its advanced phase. one, two, three, four, 5 weeks in a row, while the Nasdaq has been puking its guts out. This one's making new highs, so definitely showing strength. The old Warren Buffett stock, these guys do, I think, kidney dialysis, medical services making new highs. Where else am I at on this? Oh, BTSG, slow mover. Nobody talks about it. Shh, quiet. $70 after hours. Just, yeah, just, yeah. I say no stock goes up in a straight line. Well, this one is, huh? There's no pullbacks here. It's just going straight up. It's just marching higher. It's a damn soldier. Better salute. SNDA, this is one for, I don't know if you want to call it long-term, care, senior living, probably a boomer trade. You call that a boomer trade? I don't want to be morbid at all. Let's go to happier things. Viking, yay, made a new high, then pulled back. Still, above 100, I'm impressed. Another boomer trade. But I'm getting off my script here because I'm going to this medical services group, and this is a cup with handle breakout big time for NeoGenomics. I know it's only 1.6 billion market cap, but and it's only $13, but you got to go by percentages here. And this one by percentage this week is up 23%. I think we'll take that. I missed it. I didn't put it on my ready list. I didn't put it on my watch list. I didn't even put it on my fishnet list. I cast my net out and bring in all these stocks. So this one skipped me, but I do notice the new highs. BDSX, another one. I have no idea what they do. Medical services. They make their shareholders wealthy, up 7% today. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never go up, except in honor of the great Steve Jobs. We have one more thing, and that is the biotech stocks. You cannot ignore these now. They're just too loud. They're making too much noise. Too many of them making new highs. This is Liquidia. This is the one that I want to own. Making new highs today in TGTX. I do own in a retirement account because my wife wanted a stock to hold for a year, so I gave her this one, and she got tired of waiting for it, and she sold it right about here. This is pulling back the last day, so I said, okay, you sell it. I'm going to buy it. They're about 40, $42, and now it's at 53. So when it gets when it gets to 60, I'll probably sell it and just give her the proceeds and say, stop selling your stocks. If you want to hold something for a year, you got to hold it for a year for tax reasons. You can't get tired 6 months in and just off the thing. Anyway, I'm not going to lecture anyone, especially her. TWST, she watches these videos. Now she's going to be pissed. Anyway, Twist Biosciences. I will be sleeping in the garage tonight. Um, anyway, making new highs. 100 is definitely in the cards there. Then TVTX. This is one is revenue biotech. Man, making new highs. These things are so dang strong. I gotta buy a couple of them. I like Liquidia. I like Travere. I like TGTX. Keimer, Martin Keimer, the golfer. He's got his own therapeutics company. This is developmental. This is not revenue, but just acknowledging strength here, a breakout today of 16%. ASND, there's so many of them. You guys got to take out your pencil and paper, write these tickers down. ASND, this is profitable biotech. Breaking out of a base today, 10%, a move not to be ignored. Look at that volume. So this is a Glenn Close stock. You can't ignore it. ALKS, this thing it shows up on my screens every darn day. It's like Liquidia, just going higher and higher and higher. This is profitable biotech. They've got the earnings and sales, so it's not a fly-by-night speculative biotech name. Gosh, there's so many of them. Good grief. I can't even print. I'm not going to do this to you. Breakout today, RCUS, Arcus. This is revenue biotech. Yeah, man, these things look good. And I'm talking about July. This could be a group that could be leading, along with memory and some of those other names that I mentioned at the top of the show. But, just so many of them. LGND, I can't believe, yeah, this one's making new highs. It's cresting 300 here. Oh my gosh. Man, NRIX, half of them, I don't know what these do. This is developmental, it's a good looking chart there. What else? We have RVMD. This is speculated buyout. Yeah, making new highs. Gosh darn, that's a developmental one too. And even if you look at the larger ones, they look good. Lilly looks good here. Cup with handle pattern. That thing's going to bounce and rip higher anytime now. And even Amgen. And this one's consolidating in a base, and that could move. Even Merck, gosh darn it, Merck, the Dow component. This looks good. So and also I got to go to the XBI. This is already broken out here, yeah, and moving higher. So yeah, you can't ignore this. This has gone from 118 here. It's up to 151. It looks great. And if you're an adrenaline junkie, you could do the three times bull. 133 low here, 150 here. Now it's 257. So if you like that kind of thing, this thing looks like it's headed in the right direction. That is it for me. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the long video. Even in a weak tape, we're seeing a lot of stuff developing, a lot of structure developing that could lead to higher prices in July. We're going to get rid of June here pretty soon. 3 trading days left, and then we rally. All right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you for watching. Head to mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.